you like music. Energized. Hi guys. Hey review family. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy, back again to bring you another video. You know what time it is. Monthly series albums I liked, in which I go over my favorite records from the month past to do a little bit of a catch-up mechanism for you guys that aren't able to watch all my reviews but want to know my favorite records from the past month. I post all the reviews in the description box below so you can go see them. I am not going to be able to go as in-depth as I am in those reviews as I am here in these little excerpts. These are just blurbs, recommendations. I highly suggest all of these. I think that goes without saying though. This is another packed month. Last month was absolutely insane when it came to great records that I enjoyed. This month I'm limiting it to records that got 8 out of 10s or higher, just to limit it a bit to my really favorite records. But in case you want to know some of the ones that were in that vicinity but didn't quite get 8s that I also think were quite good, that I did enjoy quite a lot, would be like the Shura record Forhever, the remastering of the Dance Gavin Dance record Acceptance Speech 2.0, Infinite Annihilator's record The Battle of Yaldabaoth, also enjoyed Mgla's record Age of Excuse. I know all the controversial stuff. I talk about that in the review. If you want to hear my comments on that controversial stuff, you should go check it out. Also got a little bit out of the Post Malone record. Also enjoyed that Engulf EP Transcend. But now that those are out of the way, let's get down to the nitty gritty, the bones, the guts of this list. These are my favorite records of last month. First up, I got Keodot with Blasphemy. Toby Driver in the band does it again. I love his experimental and avant-garde take on genres such as progressive metal. Love his work on Keodot as well as Modeling of the Well. If you want a very fun and experimental but not too far off the beaten path progressive metal record with some noise and distortion, check it out. JPEGMAFIA is up next with All My Heroes Are Cornballs. Super excited about this record. It is a great follow-up in my opinion to Veteran last year. Not sure still to this day if it outdoes Veteran. I think they're different. I think he takes on a different sound. If you want an abstract alternative hip-hop record with a lot of noise, a lot of experimentation, a lot of avant-garde tendencies, and a whacked out, sometimes edgy personality, Peggy is definitely the artist for you. Next up, I gotta give a shout out to the new Chelsea Wolfe album, Birth of Violence. This is my, I believe, one and only 9 of last month. My favorite record from last month. I love this record. Seeing her return to her folk roots, seeing her be able to return to that stripped back acoustic veneer. A lot of people didn't enjoy this record, but I personally got so much out of it. You have to have a deep appreciation of folk music and traditional folk music to get a lot out of the lo-fi aesthetic of this. But even though it does have a lo-fi aesthetic and production style and mixing style, and it can sound kind of raw, some of these lavish bits where she brings in all of this, you know, cinematic feels to the folk roots. I love this record to death. Can't stop listening to it. Can't stop going back to it. Definitely check this out if you're a fan of Chelsea Wolfe or folk music, or just want something that's very interesting, not really like anything else you're gonna hear. Next up, I have Korn with the Nothing. Didn't expect to like a Korn record anytime soon, considering they have been on a trajectory of their entire career being a kind of shit show for the past decade or so. The Serenity of Suffering was kind of a bounce back from that, but the Nothing, harrowing. That's all I can say. Harrowing. First record since Jonathan Davis lost his wife. That reflects in a lot of the lyricism. Super emotionally poignant. Super great instrumentation. And Jonathan Davis sounds better than he has in so long. I would argue maybe the best he has ever sounded coming from that backstory and that background of the record. I know a lot of people are kind of off-put by Korn's sound and call them a nu metal band and nu metal sucks and all that, but even though some of their first records did kick ass and they have been weak for a while, check this record out. It's quite the something. It's damn. Next up, I got As I Lay Dying with Shaped by Fire. Super glad that Tim is back in the band. They come back with a vengeance, one of the most consistent metalcore bands to ever exist, period. Right up there with so many of the classics of the 2000s, following up on that aggression of the 2000s scene. Not too original or unlike anything they had previously performed, but definitely full of anger and aggression, and backed up with a really modern production style that I dig quite a bit. Tim is sounding at the top of his game, at the peak of his performance. So glad that this band was able to get back together, because I'm not that big of a fan of Wolfe. I've been outspoken about that before, but As I Lay Dying, they kick ass. You can't get enough of them. You can't go wrong with them. They're a must for the genre. And this record just kind of solidifies them and their legacy even more so with more consistently great metalcore releases. And I hope that we get more from the band in the future, because I don't want to hear more silence, and I don't want more drama, and I don't want more controversy, and I don't want more crimes. Please let the band just be normal. Next up, I have Cult of Luna with A Dawn to Fear. Never been a fan of Cult of Luna ever. There's not been a single record that I've really been head over heels for the band, but this is the first time that it's just clicked with me. This is a post-metal record, a sludge metal record, both of them are genres that I either get a lot out of or I get nothing out of and think it's just completely blasé and forgettable and nondescript, and I'm just tentative on my enjoyment for the record, and it's just very up in the air. But Cult of Luna, they just wiped the floor with this record. It's great. It's a great post-metal record with such atmosphere, such density, such not much technicality, but you can just drown in some of these intoxicating riffs and some of these dizzying, just long-winded post-metal riffs. And I say long-winded in a good way. If you want some really, really nice post-metal, check it out. If you want some nice sludge metal, check it out. Mostly post-metal, though. Next up, Nothing Nowhere and Travis Barker, Bloodlust. Anyone that knows me knows that I love Nothing Nowhere. Literally my favorite just solo artist, currently contemporary, I should say. And he killed it on this record. Bias aside, it's a great record. Not better than Ruiner. Hardly better than Ruiner. Not better than Reaper. Hardly better than Reaper. But for an EP with Travis Barker that actually sounds good, considering Blink-182's new record was complete hot garbage, he kills it. I love the alternative rock coming through with his sound, because Joe just fits that style. It's literally just like fitting a round peg into a round hole. It just sticks like glue. The hooks are great on this record on tracks like Destruction and tracks like True Love and tracks like Torture. Not to mention Back to You. And the feature with Black Bear, I liked it a lot more than what he did on his album Anonymous. One of my more infamous reviews, did not like that record. I can talk about that for days. But even though it can feel a little bit uninspired and a little bit underdeveloped at times when it comes to, I feel like they could have been more fleshed out. These tracks could have had more to them. They end a little bit abruptly. They feel like some of the verses were constructed in a way that are just so brief that they could have been more refined and taken a bit longer. But considering the fact that Joe said that him and Travis recorded this in a week, tip of the hat that I don't have on. I just reached for a hat that I don't even have on. But if you're a fan of emo hip-hop, if you're a fan of alternative rock, check this out, because Nothing Nowhere is just at the top of his game per usual. Can't wait to see what Joe does on his next record. Next up, Opeth with Cauda, Venenum. Holy crap, Opeth came through with a record that was better than, or on par with Watershed. I talk about it in the review that I've not been a big fan of their past about 2 to 3 records. That stands true. Really didn't like Sorceress, but this is just a great progressive metal record. Ackerfeld, top of his game. Great vocals on this record. Not a big fan of some of those whisper ones. Still can't get by those vocals with repeated listens. But the compositions, even though it does feel sometimes like Progressive Metal 101, the devil's in the details, and the devil is just saying this is a great progressive metal record. Next up, SeeYouSpaceCowboy. The correlation between entrance and exit wounds. Metalcore album of the year? Can I say that? Can I say that with certainty? I'm just now thinking of this now. Is this Metalcore album of the year? I swear to God, I think it's the best straight-bred metalcore record of the year, with grindcore influences, with screamo influences, with different types of mathcore influences, with so many different experimental genres of hard rock and hard metal. This is frantic, frenzied, enraged mathcore from the 2000s coming back in full force. It's in the vein of things like Vane, the band Vane, with their record Error Zone, or Knocked Loose. They are so fun to listen to, so frantic. Connie's vocals are throat-shredding. Holy shit, this record's good. And the more I talk about it, the more I just want to listen to it. I'm currently 3 minutes into listening to the track Late December. I literally have taken a break from recording this video just to listen to this album. Please listen to it, please. It's so good. It's a really good metalcore record. I think you'll enjoy it if you like this style. The reviews are in. Hell yeah to all these records. Great records. I highly suggest all of them. In the description you can find all all the reviews, as well as the playlist for previous episodes of albums I liked. You can go see my favorite records from each month. I think it goes back until like October of 2018. Funnily enough, this is around the time that I started it to begin with. I believe I started it with September or October, one of those two. But be sure to stay for the end screen. I will link some videos that you might be interested in. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to join the review family today. Smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.